Welcome to Monday Night Live, the weekly training that guides professionals to financial prosperity. Join our community and let's start building your wealth.
Thank you guys for having me on. Thank you, Gary, for letting me join. This is my sales partner, Jason. He works with me with DRB and comes from general real estate. So he knows a lot about where you guys are and what you do. And I have been with DRB Homes for 3 years, almost 3 years now in new construction. So I feel like us new construction agents are a little bit babied. You guys do the real work with general real estate. So I thought it'd be a good idea to just kind of talk to you about what we offer as a company and the incentives that we offer and why it's so beneficial. And I champion DRB Homes for what we offer with concessions. So let me share my screen. Host disabled participant screen sharing. What do I do? Let's see.
Hang on, that shouldn't be doing that. Let me go back here, Natalia.
Okay.
Make co-host. Okay, now you should be able to share your screen. You're on a Windows computer or an Apple computer?
It's a Windows.
Okay, good.
Okay.
You should see a green share button. And then when you get to the next screen, always choose the upper left-hand panel because that'll show any screen that you get on. You don't have to keep switching around,
Thank you. All
You're
right,
welcome.
you guys, let me know if you can see my screen.
Yep.
Good. Awesome. Thank you. All right. So if you haven't heard of DRB Homes before, you've probably heard of Dan Ryan Builders. I'm sure most of us have. We're up and down the East Coast. Formerly known as Dan Ryan, we just recently had a brand change and now we're DRB Homes. And I think that just gives us a little bit of differentiation between Ryan Homes and DR Horton, some of the other builders that are out there. If you've seen a DRB home, you definitely would know the difference because we do build with a lot of quality and craftsmanship. Right now, we, as part of our history, we've been in business for over 30 years, but we've been in the Greenville area, Spartanburg area for over 10 years, right? A little over 10 years. And we have over 100 active communities up and down the East Coast and 17 in the Greenville Spartanburg market, which is where we are. But I want to just kind of show this next slide that talks about some of the places that we are building in. I'm assuming that EXP agents are all over. I don't think there's a central place. I don't know if we'll drop some places in the chat where you guys are all located, but we're building in a lot of new areas. I think we just broke ground in Myrtle Beach, right? So super excited about that. We have won Builder of the Year for our quality. I think that was last year, right? Yes. So really excited to share this information. And let me skip down to some of the areas that Jason and I both represent. So I'm going to drop this in the chat for everyone to keep. But this information is found on our website, and it's just breaking down the communities that we have in the Greenville and Spartanburg area. We do have single family and townhomes. I typically run into a lot of investors since I've been working with DRB Homes, and I think Jason too, that are interested in our townhome communities because we do give so much incentives in our townhome communities. Some of our seller concessions that are offered in our townhome communities go up to about $15,000, sometimes $17,000. And the one thing that separates DRB from some of the other builders out there is that we offer our concessions to buyers no matter what lender they use. So if you've worked with a buyer that's interested in maybe Horton or Meritage or Ryan, they're typically forced to use the lender in order to get the seller concessions, which means they're limited to whatever rate is being offered by the in-house lender. And that doesn't always work for the buyer. But if we have a buyer come in that is pre-qualified, possibly with their bank, maybe a lender they have a really great relationship with, they can stay with that lender and still get our concessions, which is really awesome. It's easier for you to get your buyer across the table if they've already got a pre-qual and they do not want to switch. Another thing is that in most of our townhome communities, we do waive the first year of HOA, which is really awesome. As you know, that rolls into a payment, a monthly payment, and sometimes that can, overwhelm your buyer, especially if they're payment driven. But we lift the first year of HOA in addition to the seller concessions that we offer. Again, you'll get a copy of this, and the links take you directly to the community. I think right now in most of our communities, if we have homes that are completely finished, we call those quick move-in homes. We do offer a bonus, right, to our realtors. I think it's $3,000 for quick move-in homes on top of the 2% commission that we offer as well. And you'll find that normally throughout our division. I'm assuming in other places as well, but just one thing I want to kind of point out that's really special about DRB.
Mhm.
Now, the community that we're located in is in Fountain Inn. Fountain Inn is on the Golden Strip. So it's basically Simpsonville, Malden, and Fountain Inn, all kind of looped together. And they call it the Golden Strip because it's a collection of like small businesses, small towns, right? But it's a fast growing area. So we typically see a lot of people that are relocating from Charlotte, from Atlanta, sometimes from Florida, where prices, as we know, are always rising in these areas. This has pretty much stayed consistent and I think at a very favorable price. So right now in the Greenville, Simpsonville, Fountain Inn area, we're starting to see a lot of transplants coming here because the prices are still so great, right? So that's one thing I want to point out. And the community that we're located in is called Mulberry Estates. So we just recently launched this community. It's a single family community with up to 7 different floor plans. This is before we actually started pouring, and we have houses out there right now. We are currently selling, but it's an awesome community that's just located maybe about 5 minutes away from Simpsonville, right on the line of Simpsonville. With easy access to our major highways that get you to what most people hear about in Greenville is downtown Greenville. So this is just a layout of our community. One of the things that is super nice about our community is that we have a connection to the Swamp Rabbit Trail. So if you've heard anything about Greenville, the Swamp Rabbit Trail is one of the well-known trails that connects all the way from downtown Greenville. And that's actually going to run around our single family community. So essentially homeowners will be able to jump right out of the community and onto the trail that would go all the way down to downtown Greenville. We have James Hardy siding out in this community, which is very hard to find in single family communities here. And this next slide talks a little bit about the DRB difference that you'll find, like the quality that you find in our homes. So we are one of the only builders that has a true design center experience. So I'm sure if you've worked with a client and they want to have a new construction home, they want to design, they typically will run into something like packages, right? We'll have packages for door color, for countertops, for floors. But we have a design center that is located here in Greenville. So everyone that purchases what we call a to-be-built home, they are designing from the ground up, and they will have an experience where they come into our office and pick everything from the siding to the floors, everything inside their house. So they have a true design center experience. In my community, we're offering up to $21,000 in credit. So my buyers that have purchased, they have pretty much $21,000 that they could use to pick designs and reduce their price if needed to continue to stay at a favorable price when they add all these luxurious interiors to their home. Another thing that I'll talk about is just the customer service that we offer. Anytime we have someone under contract and they have started a home, we do stay in contact with our buyers throughout the entire process. So as you know, with new construction, you're going to have a pre-construction demonstration, you have a pre-drywall, and you have a final walkthrough and a pre-settlement demonstration. So pre-construction, pre-settlement, all these meetings that happen when we're building a house. But we meet with our buyers every single week until that house is completely finished. Whether that be virtually if they're out of state, or in person, or over the phone, and keep them updated on the process, which communication, when you're buying a new home, I think we all know is super important. And that's one of the things that I think makes us stand out as a company, is that we truly care about our buyers and stay connected with them throughout the entire sales process, not just at the beginning. So Um, I'm going to pause there just really quick because I know I just kind of said a mouthful. And I just wanted to kind of open up and see if someone had any questions about DRB or any questions about any of the things that we talked about as far as incentives.
There was, let's see, Anna was asking, did she hear 10% plus 3,000? Like, how does the compensation
2%.
work?
Yeah, 2%.
2%. Okay. I was, yeah,
10% would be great, wouldn't
yeah.
it? uh,
Now where you are, I mean, ironically, that's where my mom is from. And I lived there when I was a kid in Greenville.
mhm.
And, so I was going to jokingly ask you, does it get hot there in the summer? But I already know the answer, you know.
It definitely does. But I feel like the weather is pretty, I mean, it's pretty normal here. Like we don't have very cold winters, we don't have too hot
Right.
summers. And honestly, when I have a lot of people that relocate from Florida or California, they go, I want to get away from that hot weather. I want something a little bit more normalized. And
Hmm.
I think that's what you find in the upstate of Greenville and Spartanburg. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, what's nice is, I mean, you're really close to the mountains. And I mean, I used to go to camp at Camp Greenville, right up on the, right, right on the state line between North and South Carolina. And then, of course, Myrtle Beach, Charleston, Hilton Head, they're all, 3.5 to 4 hours away.
Mhm.
So it's right off 85, guys. So if you're not familiar with it, definitely look it up on a map. Craig Leverett's from near there too, and it has been growing like crazy. In
Mhm.
fact, the first flipping show in production was based out of Greenville, South Carolina, back about 20 something years ago,
Mhm.
So still growing. Greenville, Spartanburg, Clemson, Anderson, that whole stretchers. Everybody's got pools in the yard, lakes everywhere, rivers,
Yeah.
creeks. I mean, it's just a great place to be. But so Natalia, when people were coming in, like when I was younger, people were coming down from the north, you know, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, and just going all into that upstate area. Because I think BMW had a plant there, and then I forget there was a tire plant. I forget all these big companies were moving in there because the
Mhm.
housing was less expensive, lower taxes, lower labor costs. Is all that still kind of going on? I mean, I haven't been there for a while. So
Yeah, it is. So you just mentioned Michelin is one of them, and I mean, I'll let you
Yeah, we
comment.
have Michelin, BMW, and then Tesla that's coming to Fountain
really,
in the next couple of months. Yeah. So
Mhm.
that's probably 10 minutes down from us.
yeah. What about Amazon? That's the new claim to fame. If you got Amazon, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That is absolutely true. But yeah, we are seeing an influx of people moving here, and it's a great time to purchase because the more people go here, the more it's move here, the demand for housing, and then the prices go up. So if you get in early while you can, and that's my message to everyone that's come into me, especially coming into a new community, you purchase a home site after about 3 or 4 months, prices go up with new construction. We tend to match the market, right? So
Mhm.
every 3 or 4 home site sales will have a price increase. If you're one of the first people to get into a new community, you automatically put yourself into a place of equity, right? So by the time that community is finished, you're sitting on a little bit of a gold mine, right? So that's one of the biggest things that I talk to customers about when they come through the door. We both talk about is the equity that you get coming into a new community. You're right into it, right?
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
any other questions about the concessions or anything like that?
What I'm wondering is we have agents from all over the country, and I know that right now, I mean, my team's heard me say this before, but South Carolina is on the cusp of experiencing another massive population growth because it's already happened in North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, and Alabama is the same way, along with Arkansas. The Alabama, Arkansas, and South Carolina, followed by uh, um, Mississippi, per capita are going to be the fastest growing areas. So if they're in like, if these agents are in like Michigan or Oregon or wherever, can they, instead of finding another agent in the area to refer somebody to and getting a portion, referral fee on that, can they bring somebody directly to you guys and still get the 2% and the 3,000?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not really sure, just because we work specifically in this area. That's a really good question. I gotta be honest with you, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's something that I can find out, but even if, it's not so much about that, it's just about having the connection. So if there is another area that you're interested in, if I can refer another DRB agent, happy to do it. I just don't know how that referral works with new construction. That's something I have to
Well,
find out.
now with let's say somebody from Greenville did bring a buyer in and they get the 2% for 3,000. Do you guys see normally what I think a lot of us are used to when new construction is we might be the buyer's agent, but once we get an agreement signed, the buyer's agent really has nothing more to do when new construction. The builders and their team takes everything. Is that the same thing with DRB? You guys take it?
Yes, we try to keep the buyer's agents involved as much as possible, but
Okay.
once they've signed, we pretty much take it from there. It's great to have a relationship with the buyer's agent throughout the entire process, right? Because we want to take care of everybody, but in reality, we represent the builder, right? So we normally just kind of take it and run with it, but it is smart, and I think it's best practice to keep everybody involved throughout the entire process. Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
Let me check the chat box here. Hey, oops, I got to promote some people. If you guys have questions, please go ahead and type them in. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
feel free
promote some more
to.
people here.
And again, this slide just kind of talks about that we have a different level of customer service, right? We talk about how to handle the transaction and how to handle our customers from start to finish and keep the relationship going even after closing, right? So even 30 days after closing, we still check in with our buyers to make sure that they have settled and that everything is going well. One thing that you did mention, Gary, was the 10-year warranty, which is awesome with getting a new construction home. And our warranty team is here local in Greenville, right? So if there's any type of issue within the first 30 days of moving into a home, a homeowner can easily reach out via email to our warranty team and get a very quick response back. The project manager that's on site at any one of these 10, 13 communities that I'm talking about here will be available to talk to that buyer very soon, at least within 30 days, right? They go straight to the project manager. So that's another thing that is a benefit. And so this next slide is what I really want for you guys to have. This is a breakdown of the communities and the concessions that are being offered in each community. They do typically change, but they normally stay around the same vicinity as what you see right now. And if there is an investor or someone that's paying cash, these seller concessions can completely drop the price altogether. So, and you guys are still seeing my screen, right?
Yep.
Okay, great. So it just says here, open to any lender, closing costs can be covered, rate reduction, which right now is huge, right? We can use some of those incentives for a 2-1 buy down, or they call it a step up mortgage. Sometimes we have programs where we do a fixed permanent rate of 5.25, depending on the lender that we're working with. And then on top of that, money's still left over to cover closing costs. So all of those things, we call it flex cash, but it truly is flex cash because your buyer can use it however they want to use it, right?
What are some of the price ranges? Like I saw the incentives are anywhere from 15,000 up to 40,000. So that would lead me to believe there's a big range of prices.
So the $40,000 flex cash for the Grange Estates, those are homes that are almost a little over $500,000. Well, yeah, a little over $500,000 homes that are located in Clemson. So when you see this large amount, it's going to be a house that's going to be about 500,000 plus on the purchase price, which is still a really great incentive. Where I'm at, we have $21,000 of concessions. My homes go all the way up to about 460, 470, right? And then we're offering that 21,000 that can be used to do whatever they need to do. Most of these that are 17 and 15,000, those are townhomes, right? And the townhomes typically range anywhere between the mid 200s to 300s, I would say. So to reduce the price by about $17,000 is very significant. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. And I think that's really essentially it. That's really all I have. I'm going to share the PowerPoint with everybody, and I'm again more interested in whatever questions you have. I see the chat kind of popped up with a few questions. So are there any questions?
Yep. So Dutch was asking, DRB, they're a stick builder. In other words, it's not manufacturer prefab. They're not coming in big trucks like whole rooms and walls and stuff.
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good question.
Now, when I was there, some homes had basements, but most of the ranches didn't. Are these basements or no basement?
Well, we do have some communities that have basement homes.
Okay.
We had one in Easley called Livingston Park that had basement homes. It really just depends on how the land is done. Now, where I'm at in Mulberry Estates, the way the land is, we don't have an option for basements. But I think we may have some communities that are coming that will have some options for basement homes. Absolutely.
Okay. Another thing Dutch was mentioning, there's a website called hoodle.com. And we know the owner of the company is his wife's actually an agent with us. But he has a website that matches buyers with builders. The agents are part of it every step of the way. But yeah, have you heard of that? I know he generally works with more like independent builders, regional builders. He doesn't deal with like Hortons and Ryan and those guys, you know.
Yeah.
So
No, I've never heard of that. What was it? Say it again. It's called
it's a Hoodle, HOODLE.com.
Okay.
And Ron Williams is the owner. If you look him up, just tell him the the team sent you, or
I
he'll
definitely
know
will.
he know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And is there any information as a general agent? I mean, I would like to know that you would like to see, or you all would like to see new construction agents provide that's more helpful for your buyers when they're looking for new construction. I mean, we're always trying to find a way to stand out as new construction agents. What would you all like to see us provide more of for your buyers when you bring them in? That's going to give a competitive advantage. I mean, we go through a process of trying to make the experience really, really great. But is there something that you all see now that you want to see less of or more of when you're showing new construction homes and connecting with an agent on site?
well, I know one thing for me when I was, I'm the team leader now, so I'm not actively in production, but whenever I did new construction, um, having the floor plans with the actual specs and everything, and just everything at our fingertips always was a big help. And anything that can be online, like the floor plans online,
Mm-hmm.
the specs, um, a lot of people are interested in that kind of the level of detail. And then, so it sounds like in your opinion, um, how customizable are these? Like, like if I take a floor plan and I'm not saying like move major wall movement or any kind of thing like that. Um, but if I want to rearrange a little bit or have like a special flooring that I'm willing to pay for, is he flexible that way or?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have several different floor plans that we can change flex spaces from like offices to dining. I think we're as close to custom as you can possibly get. I'm gonna drop in the chat, which I know everyone can find on their own, but I still want to go ahead and drop it on the DRB website. Our website has really evolved over, I think, the last couple of months. And we make it really, really easy for everyone to kind of jump in and look at how they want to build their house. So the first thing that I start with is the floor plan and what options you can add over. So I'm going to drop the one for Mulberry Estates, and I don't expect for y'all to go into it right now, but if you can still see my screen.
Yep. Yeah, definitely go through the website. That would be a really good idea.
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, you can trickle down by location. When you first pull up our website, you can either I'll just put in Greenville as an example. When you click on Greenville, it's going to pull up Greenville communities, depending on what filters you put in. And I'm just going to go straight to Mulberry Estates to make it easy. So I'm not flipping all over the place. And you can either click on quick move-in home, like if your buyer is interested in something that's going to finish up in the next 30 to 45 days. Or if you know your buyer wants to build, you can just click on details, and you've got an introductory to how the community is set up, what's close to the community location. And then you have this tab over here that has 7 different floor plans. Just recently I was showing someone this floor plan, but it tells you, this is a Cooper, it's a really popular plan that we have, but it tells you that it goes up to 4 bedrooms, 3 full bathrooms. If you click on interactive floor plan, this is what lets you filter and change how the rooms change in each floor plan. So over on this side of the screen, you got first floor, and these are all the options that you can select. And just know that whatever pops up first is standard. That's standard. And then anything that you change over here is going to be an upgrade, right? So this is something that when you come into one of our offices, we would normally go ahead and talk about what you like to see structurally in a home and pretty much build it, whether it's a tile shower, screen-in porch, or covered porch. Go to the second floor and make a change, and then print that out, send it to you. That's going to be your floor plan, and everything else is just cosmetic. And so we send our buyer with these structural plans to the design center, and they pick out all of the options for the home. So, I mean, they even get as detailed as picking the elevation of the home, right? The colors of the exterior. And right now, we don't have a model that's completely finished. So everyone that I sell to, or we both sell to, we're selling them based on Matterports and based on pictures. So we rely really heavily on the things that are on our website, like these strip drawings and photos of our floor plans. But again, I mean, when you look at this, when you look at some of the things that we do, like high baseboards and LVP on the first floor, it's not really something that you would normally see in some of our other competitors. So I think that's one of the things that makes us stand out. So.
Looks nice.
Oh, they're beautiful. Yeah. They're beautiful. I mean, I have floor plans going from 1,700 square feet all the way up to almost 3,000. Yeah.
Now, have you had any buyers? I mean, I don't know if they're telling you their plans, but buy any of these, like particularly the townhomes, to be used for rentals, like even if it's midterm rentals.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
traditional rentals, obviously, midterm, short term, that kind of thing.
Short-term rentals, yeah. So I'm gonna just pivot real quick over to Mulberry Estates is our single family community, but we're also sitting in Mulberry Towns. So we have townhomes that are located directly across the street from these estate homes. The park at Mulberry, look at that. And these are starting in the 250s, going up to about 300, just depending on what's in the townhome. But we are giving $17,000 in concessions. This is a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath townhome, and we have a total of how many investors that have purchased out here? 3 investors. Yeah, 3 investors that have purchased. Because we are right on the line of Simpsonville, the rental value can be anywhere between, I think, $1,900 to a little over $2,000. We're located right next to an elementary school that is one of the top-rated schools in the area. So a lot of people that have come through have been investors because of how we can use that flex cash to bring down the price and help them with closing as well. So this is a picture of one of the most popular floor plans that we have with townhomes called the Litchfield. It is a craftsman style townhome, and we sell this floor plan not only in the Greenville area, but also in Spartanburg as well. And then we have another community that's about 10 minutes from downtown Greenville, which is also booming for a lot of college students, and it's great for rental in the area too. But it's a gorgeous floor plan. and it kind of matched the theme for our single family homes. So, you know, I have some people, or we have people that come in and say, hey, I think I may want a townhome, but I think I may want a single family home. Can you talk to me about what's the lowest price single family and what's the price for the townhome? So we only have 20 home sites out of this community. It's one of our smallest townhome communities, which I think is actually great. I'll show you the site map for it really quick. If it'll show up, let me see. There you go. All right. So, there you go. It's right off of Bryson Drive, which goes right down into downtown Fountain Inn, which is like a main strip for restaurants and shops and everything. So really nice community. And I think because it's small like this, I think that's actually a benefit. Everything that we have out here right now is what we call a spec home. So they're finished. They're just ready to be sold at this point. We are doing a really great incentive in this community where we're providing washer, dryer, refrigerator, and blinds. So for an investor, I mean, that's a dream. The home's already set up. They just have to put a renter in it and they're ready to go. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what is the business, is a DRB looking to expand into different states? Or, I mean, you probably got plenty of business where you are, quite frankly, but I mean, it looks like you got a pretty good system going here with great prices. But any plans to expand across state lines?
Well, yeah, I mean, we're up and down the East Coast, right? And we're constantly growing. I mean, I don't know what our next couple projects are, but I mean, we're all the way from, I wish I could show you this map, all the way from Florida up to North Carolina, up to Pennsylvania. Like we're pretty much everywhere. And I think West Coast is probably going to be next, right? Don't you think? So I don't know. We're growing. We're definitely growing.
Well, it's definitely a good time to be a builder, that's for sure. But Karen's from Pennsylvania. I lived in Pennsylvania for 25 years, and I think I've heard of Dan Ryan Builders. Have you heard of them, Karen? Or
yeah, there's a
okay.
Dan Ryan home right next door to me.
Really?
Okay, nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Natalia, would this apply up there too? I don't know if there's any new developments up
As far as the incentives go?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. I think we pretty much consistently do the same thing across the board. Now, depending on and I think I can say this, the urgency to sell the townhomes depends on what we put in the house. I mean, having washer, dryer, and blinds is not something we do for every single home. When we have a completed home, our goal is to get that home sold. So they typically put things in the homes to make them a little bit more desirable, especially if it's a townhome. I normally don't see it in single family, maybe every now and then. But once that home is done, we start adding incentives to it to push it out, to make it more desirable. So I think that's probably something that's consistent all across, where we build.
Are they going to be doing any communities though? Because I know in this area, there's just some there's just like spot homes. There's no communities. There's no Dan Ryan communities in this area.
Okay, I don't know about that. I'm not really sure just because I'm not in that area.
Yeah.
But I mean, normally here we have full communities. I've never seen a Dan Ryan just individually by itself. I'm not really sure, but that's a good question. I'll have to find out.
Just curious.
I know. Yeah, no, I know we build some communities for rent. I think that's called fee simple. Like we build some rental communities as well. But I don't know about just individual spots. You'll find all communities here in Greenville and Spartanburg area. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, on the West Coast,
the way they built in the past, it's a lot of years ago. That was probably built. It's probably built like 30 years ago. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Way before I was on board. Yeah.
That's how builders get started. They build, you bring in a lot and they'll build. But I want to tell you, Natalia, I mean, on our team, we have agents literally coast to coast, and we have a lot of websites that tell us where people are moving from, where all the money's coming from, where the money's going to. And Oregon and Washington State are two of the fastest growing states right now. California's losing, people are leaving California, but they're going to Nevada, Arizona, Texas, Colorado, um, Oregon, and Washington State. And we call them green states. It's not political. It's not red or blue. It's green for money. And Oregon and Washington State are leading the charge on the West Coast.
Yeah.
But what about like the middle, like Texas? I mean, Arkansas, Oklahoma looks like it's ready to take off too. I mean, it's just crazy, but I don't know
Yeah.
if they share that kind of information with it, but we got agents in all those places.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that at some point, I know we're not in Texas right now, but I think at some point we'll definitely get there. Our land people are normally years ahead before we have a community that is completely launched. Like we've got land projects out there that I don't even know about right now. We have a town hall meeting normally once a month and we find out that, hey, we just bought some land somewhere way out in, Aiken or whatever. So, I believe we're gonna expand for sure to those areas. But what I'm seeing right now, I'm seeing everyone moving to Greenville, Spartanburg area because our prices are so great, So I appreciate you guys letting me jump on here and just share some information with you and talk with you guys. And I'm just gonna share our website and our information. Even if you have a question about a different area, just reach out. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. A lot of people have called Greenville the Austin of the East. Austin, Texas is a great
Oh,
town.
yeah,
And
definitely.
Greenville's, I mean, you've got just and I mean, I took my mother to her 60th high school reunion several years ago. In fact, we're going to be there this August for a Wilson family reunion. And so the town is just a beautiful place. It is a great place to live. No
It
denying
is.
that. So
Mhm.
golf courses everywhere. Just amazing. Lots of water.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. But hey guys, for everybody on tonight, do me a favor either raise your hand or type in the chat box. Just say I have if you've ever worked with new construction before. Helping somebody buy a new construction home or work directly with a builder. So Wanda, hey Wanda, Wanda's in another good area. She's in Maryland. That's the part of Maryland that kind of stretches down between the Chesapeake Bay and the Potomac River. Wanda, do you have new construction communities there? Where did Wanda go?
Yes, we do.
There you go. I don't know if
We
DRB
have
and Dan
we have DRB here. They have a lot of communities that they're building here.
really.
Yes.
Okay.
Have you had a chance to drop into one and just kind of see the difference between, you don't have to gas me up. I'm just
No,
curious.
I've sold a few of their homes. I really like their product.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that they still allowing people to choose their options as opposed to most of the other builders are doing packages, as you said, and people don't have much choice.
Right. Yep, absolutely.
There are several. Karen,
Okay.
Gilbert Evans just sold one in Vegas. That will be another good area if you're not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Yeah, we're
Vegas
not there, but I
and
bet we'll get there for sure.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, and
I
Phoenix
saw that they
is like
were in, saw that they were in Orlando, but I don't know if they're coming to Tampa or in this area. And I don't know if that list was, that's all of the places they are, and that's it, metro areas, or but so
Yeah, I
much of
think
the
it's,
construction has started out
yeah,
in
it says
Tampa.
Orlando, Florida on our map, so I'm sure.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad that you guys have seen some of our communities around. I'm going to drop our names in here and contact information.
Okay.
So that if you happen to, and I've actually worked with Craig at a community that we had out in Spartanburg. Well, we still have Drayton Mills a long time ago with a townhome transaction. And I guess that was probably a little over maybe like a year and a half. That was a great transaction. Craig was awesome. And I was like, listen, I really want to talk to some EXP agents because I've had a couple of EXP agents that I work with and they've been so amazing. So I was like, hopefully I can jump in on a meeting. I've listened to one of your meetings before, and Gary, you've always been super educational, very knowledgeable. So I appreciate your time today. We both do. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you this. Even without Hoodle, I think Hoodle will be Dan Ryan might be too big for Hoodle. I don't know, but worth the conversation. Craig's worked with Ron Williams before, but can he promote your communities and Dan Ryan and not ruffle any feathers? Are other agents allowed to? Because we do that. That's one of our techniques is to promote other people's um, products, even other listings from other agents. We'll get their permission and do that, you know?
Yeah, no, that's a really great point. So I think we've had 1 or 2 agents do an open house this month in some of our communities. So, you know, we have a home that is ready to go to a new buyer, right? It's been sitting there for a little while. Sometimes I'll have a new agent say, hey, you know, I'm just now getting started, or I want to get some business going. I want to do a marketing video. I like to host an open house. May I come sit in your community at home site number 4 and do an open house, right? Absolutely. Why not, right? So that brings more business to you, even if it's not for a DRB home. As an agent, no skin off of your back. You may find someone who really wants to buy another home somewhere else. And then on top of that, you're bringing people out to this community that I have, right? And putting eyes on this community. So that's a win-win situation. One thing I will say, marketing, I feel like right now is probably one of the biggest tickets to having a successful company. And when I have a general agent who is really into Facebook or what is it, TikTok, you know, all these things that people do, and they want to do these videos, I'm like all about it. So yes, if you ever want to market at least a DRB community that I'm familiar with or that we represent, which is Greenville, Spartanburg, absolutely. I'm not sure if it works the same in other markets, right? But I would imagine, you know, I don't see a lose situation in that. I think that's great. Yes.
Well, you know what? That actually might be the gold nugget of the night is I never thought about that myself as approaching a builder and asking if I can do an open house in one of their model homes. That's a great idea,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Everybody loves new homes.
Yeah. And even if the community that they, you know, your prospects start to come into, if that community doesn't work, we could show them another DRB community. Like you could be in a townhome having an open house 1 week and a single family in another week. You know, why not? It's easy because the inventory is right there. And then you have an agent that you've made a relationship with. And I will say this, typically if I have a really good relationship with a general agent, a lot of times we have clients come in or customers come in that don't have representation, right? We know how hard it is to get sometimes a client to stick to one person, especially when you're in general, they can go off anywhere. But if I have someone that needs representation because I represent the buyer, we represent the buyer, I'll say, hey, I know Craig. He's a great realtor. Let me let you have lunch with him, right? And build a relationship. So I like to do that typically with my general agents. So, you know, that's another thing.
Well, let me ask you this. You got a room full of really good professionals from around the country. Being in new construction on the construction side of things, can you think of a couple things that we can help our agents out with, like things you wish they knew? Like when they work with you on your like they're on the outside, you're on the inside, things that you wish they knew or would do to help the process be more smooth or you know, bring more people in, anything to help them at all, you know?
I think knowing exactly what the buyer is looking for when it comes to price point. And I hope it's okay for me to talk about this because I'm not a general agent and I don't want to ruffle any feathers. Y'all don't beat me up. But I think that sometimes we have clients or customers come in with their agent and their agent says they're looking for a house no more than 300 a month. And not 300, 300 price point, right? And I'm like, okay, well, is this their first home? Yes. Okay, well, what are they thinking about as far as a payment? Oh, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, why not save yourself a trip and sit down and talk a little bit about finance? Because there's no point in driving someone around to 1,000 different houses that are 300,000 that you can't find because there is no $300,000 house that they want. If you know what their payment is and you know what you can get their interest rate down to, then you know the exact price point. Because the worst feeling is to show someone a model that is decorated to high heaven and above their price point when I should have showed them a home that doesn't have all the bells and whistles because their agent didn't tell me exactly what they needed for a price point. I feel like I failed you, and unfortunately, we both failing your client. So I think having more conversations about dollars, and I know, sometimes buyers say, well, I just want to go see the house, well, that's great, but I don't want you to fall in love with a house that you can't afford. So let's have a serious conversation about numbers. And I know that's easier said than done. I really get it, but I think that would definitely get more people over the finish line if we knew exactly how we could help them, because they can love the house, but the bottom line is how much they want to pay. That's the bottom line, right?
Yeah.
So I see someone raising their hand, and I don't know how to
Oh. Yeah, if you guys want to unmute yourself, go ahead and ask any questions you want. And you can type in the chat box if you want, but you're welcome to unmute yourself. I think everybody should be. Was it? Oh, that was Juan. Juan, if you have a question, go ahead and you can unmute yourself.
I was just raising my hand saying that I had sold a builder's home before.
Oh.
That's all.
awesome. Okay.
So Juan's in Arkansas. So,
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah. You see DRB out there in Arkansas, Juan?
No, I haven't noticed it. If there is, I haven't noticed.
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay. Hey, how did it go? How did it go, by the way, Juan, over the weekend with the buyer?
I haven't talked to him. We're supposed to talk this tonight, actually.
Okay. Let me know if you need anything.
I will.
Okay. Hey guys, any other questions for Natalia while she's here? Got about 8 minutes left, and I'll stay on afterwards if anybody has Q&A. There's Natalia and Jason just put their numbers in. So guys, I'm going to copy that real quick and put it in the general, because sometimes we have people that don't let themselves be promoted.
Yeah, and also too, if you guys ever have any questions about some of the financing programs that we offer with our preferred lenders, please let me know. I'd be happy to send over some information. We have some programs that help buyers, sell their home before they purchase to kind of avoid contingencies and things like that. So we have different things for different people. So if there's ever any questions about a special program, first-time home buyer, whatever the case may be, I think we have bank-only loans as well. So many different options. Please let me know. I'd be happy to share that with you.
I have more of a comment to make, and I guess along with the question. And that would be, so are you just restricted to sell on site, or are you allowed to actually work with clients off site?
Do you mean like a different DRB community, or do you mean like a?
You mean, so for instance, and really it's kind of a rhetorical question, but so in a new subdivision, if the builder's rep is required to sit site and in their model home, are you guys exclusive to where you can't, if that buyer didn't like your home and they needed to purchase it, maybe they wanted to purchase somewhere else, maybe a pre-existing home, not even one of your homes, are you allowed to represent, or are your rep? No. Okay.
No.
So so with that being said, then do you have exclusive referral agents or some sort of relationship with agents to where you can actually guide that buyer maybe to contact that agent to where you can get a referral fee, or if they have a home to sell and they want to purchase your home, then you have a pool of listing agents that you can call on that, you can refer that client that came into your model home to.
Absolutely. I think we were just talking about it a little earlier. No, good question. Yeah. So if we've made a relationship, if you and I have talked at some point in time and I'm like, hey, look, can I save your business card? Can you give me I think sometimes general agents have like a buyer's presentation. Do you have something that I could give someone that comes in and says, hey, I want to buy a DRB home, but I need to sell my home. Do you know a great listing agent? Absolutely. And that's the reason why we had these lunch and learns, because I think it's beneficial to everyone to have that type of relationship. I'd love to be able to put someone in the hands of somebody that I trust, that's going to give them a good experience. And if you trust me, the hope is that you bring them back to my product and with me. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So share.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Share your
Absolutely.
info, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, I just want you to know, obviously you guys know that I do a lot of new construction, and a lot of promotion of new construction developments and builders, interviewing the builders. This is a great segue to build relationship with builders, whether you're getting an interview directly with the builder owner, if they're an emerging builder, or you're actually getting in with just a sales rep that's sitting site to create videos, just doing a question answer form, what makes that builder different. It helps the builder out. More importantly, it drives traffic, gives you content to post on, and also being able to build relationship with the agents on site. One agent with one of the builders has now given me 5 referrals. I've gotten 3 listings from it. That has just been over just this year so far, just this year. And then I went to another builder, built relationship. Because again, you're going to be in there if you're filming their homes. You know, if they're going to get to know you. It's all about feeling comfortable with you, learning a little bit about you. And that's going to be the best key to really gain solid relationships with builders reps, is when you're in there, you're filming their homes, using it for your social media. And then they're going to get to know a little bit more about how you operate. That's going to build more confidence on how they're going to refer to you, and passing over that warm referral. Like, you know, Lisa's phenomenal. You know, she does great attention to detail. She's very specific in helping buyers find exactly what they want in that area. She knows everything about every city and town. It just helps the builders reps to know how to better refer you. But more importantly, if they can get I don't know if whether you're allowed to get referral fees from those agents. Oh, that's so lame. That's so lame. But that's okay. That's okay. It's what's nice is that the builders would still allow you to give referrals out that would help that buyer, knowing, of course, that they're not going to be going with your product. Obviously, you know, sometimes it's about price point. Sometimes it's about maybe you don't have the floor plan that they need. But I now have another builder, like I was saying, another builder's rep that's sitting site, and I told her about the other agent that gets referrals and from me, and that I'm closing on him now, and like she makes more on my referral fees that I give her than she does on site. Which you need to really catch that, because sometimes some of the builders that sit site literally get a flat fee of anywhere from $6,500. And then they get like anywhere from $25,000 salary a year to $40,000 a salary. You'll be astonished if you go in and have conversations and you say, "Hey, I can get you a referral fee." All you're doing is passing a name and a number. I'm going to keep you updated. I'm going to let you know how the conversations go. You guys will get business. And so I now have the second agent going, "Oh my gosh, are you serious? Okay, I'm really going to be on it now." And like since then, she's been like, "Here's this person, here's that person." So I just want to encourage all of you guys, it works. Build relationships. You have to network anyway. It's good for you to have content. It's good for you to put stuff out there saying, "Hey, I'm looking at homes for you. I'm busy doing tours for you," whatever. It's going to benefit all of you guys.
Hi, I just want to take a moment to thank you for watching a recording of the Monday Night Live class. Hope you're getting a lot out of it. I'm sure you will. I wanted to let you know that, you can come to Monday Night Live whenever you want, but you can also participate more with the team. Why don't you set up a call with me, a one-on-one strategy call? I can go over everything with you, show you everything that we have to offer. For example, did you know that on our team, not only do you get your leads, we actually give you your own account on our lead gen system. So this puts you in control. You're not waiting on somebody to hand you leads. You get to pick the ones you want. Okay. Huge difference. We have 21 of our own proprietary marketing campaigns. They're all copyright protected. We're the only ones that can use them. Okay. The coaching is absolutely one-on-one. We got 3 coaches. We even have a 4th success coach that we have access to. Okay. One of left fewer than 100 in the world. Okay. One-on-one coaching. Right now the big problem is volume. We need more transactions. We need more inventory. I get it. Well, we know how to get it. Our team actually outproduces the national average by more than 2 to 1. So if you're struggling, don't do that anymore. If you're a solo agent, if you're a team, let's just talk. smart entrepreneurs are always open to discussion. Learn what we have to offer, and then you can make an informed decision about staying where you are or moving on. You've got to decide, if you're not where you want to be, you've got to take action to get where you want to be. Let's see how we can help you do that. I look forward to talking to you. Click on the link, set up a call. And by the way, I'll see you on the next Monday Night Live.
Thank you so much for saying that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks, Shastine.
Yeah.
By the way, Shastine, I mean, I swear like every week there's a new transaction coming in for Shastine.
That's good.
And new construction, I'm telling you guys, remember we were saying this last year, watch out, new construction is gonna, and it's not just, a fad, it's not just one location. It's pretty much everywhere where we're looking, everywhere where we have agents. Everybody's saying the same thing. New construction has really picked up. And I think what it is, guys, is, the pandemic, was there for what, 3 years? Prices went through the roof, interest rates went up, and everybody was just sitting tight. What do we do? Should I buy? Should I wait? And the sellers are thinking the same thing. I think what's happening is people are tired of waiting. They're just saying, you know what? I'm just going to go get a dang home. I mean, the rate is what the rate is. And if you've been around long enough, you realize 7% is not bad at all.
Right.
Historically speaking, I mean, when I first started, guys, it was 8, 9%. When it went to 7%, we thought this is heaven, man. 7%, this is great. So do it like Shastine talked about, guys. You have to network. Go meet the builders. Go to like where Natalia's working and tell her you're on the team. I guess that's for Craig because he's closest there. But but you know what? Dan Ryan Builders is in a lot of places and they're expanding. Why not start early? I mean, the early bird gets to worm. It's an age-old classic logic. Somebody's going to be first and might as well be you. And remember, if you're not first and you're in what's called the follow-up crowd, then you're in a dogfight. I'd rather be an early adapter.
True.
So now, experience, results in more wisdom, of course. But I've seen this 5 market cycles. Okay, and you can always count on one thing for sure, and that's new construction. When things need an improvement, new construction is what leads the charge. It affects so many other parts of the economy. So many other industries are affected by it. It's almost everything. Transportation, manufacturing, to build refrigerators and stoves, mills to cut the lumber. I mean, you name it. Everybody gets that trickle down effect when new construction. And the other one is the investor. You can always count on investors. So in any case, hey, Natalia, I know it's 8 o'clock. It's actually 8:01. And I appreciate you doing this. I mean, this was not a normal Orthodox class, but I think you and Jason did an awesome job. Jason had the easy part, man. He just sat back there.
I just have to, watch the clock.
Yeah,
But,
thank you so much. I really appreciate the time. And please don't hesitate to reach out if there's anything. Yep.
You got it. For everybody here, guys, if you haven't had a one-on-one, set up a one-on-one. Let's talk about new construction. Let's implement some of these ideas. That's why I wanted Natalia to teach. I knew you're not all in South Carolina, obviously, but I also knew when she started showing you what's going on, you were going to learn something from it. And thanks to Shastine too for sharing her wisdom. So,
yeah.
Okay, guys. Any more questions? And Jason and Natalia, you're welcome to hang around. We usually stay on a little bit longer just for Q&A, problem solving, things like that. You're welcome to hang out, but if not, we really appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, I'll share this presentation with you guys with the email, Gary. I guess I can send it to you and you can send it out.
Yep. If you could do me a favor, copy sugar, SUGAR, sugar at rewgw.com, and she'll make sure that gets out tomorrow with the follow-up email.
Okay, love it. Thank y'all so much.
Everybody's registered. We'll get that. And we're like almost 700 registrants. So there'll be a lot of people getting that information.
Okay. Thank you so much. Y'all be blessed. Bye.
Thank you. God bless you too, Natalia.
Bye.
Yeah. Hey guys, any thoughts or questions? Anybody feel like you're getting the itch to go meet some builders somewhere, a new development plan? Only
I've
Shastine?
talked
Ron,
to I've talked to Ron at least twice now, and I was very thankful to him for, being giving with his time and whatnot. And one thing I was kind of worried about, if any of you guys have any input on it with Hoodle specifically was, I know he's going through some growing pains operationally and stuff, and he's trying to expand and he's kind of rebuilding a team. And so the timeline for kind of what he has happening, I don't really know what to expect. I don't expect him to speak against himself either. But just operationally for what he's able to handle at the moment. And, he's over in Illinois. I'm down here near Tampa, St. Pete. I don't care about the distance between he and I. I just kind of care about the operational, practical side of things, like how much traffic does his website get? So I go to look those things up, and I looked up last night. I think it said he gets like monthly, like 1,200 hits on his website. So, okay, I don't know what number I'm looking for, but 1,200 doesn't seem like a lot, and that doesn't mean 1,200 from Tampa. That means 1,200 nationally. So,
Mhm.
I want to have a further conversation with him about that. I think what he's offering as far as the tool is phenomenal. I have nothing bad to say about that. I think it should have been done 30 years ago. I think it's needed. I think it would help breach a better relationship and understanding between contractors and builders with the agents. So many of us, from what I understand, just kind of show up and then flip off the duty to the builder and then come back and get a check. You know. And I don't want to be that kind of agent, and I don't want to be involved at that kind of limited way. But um, I would like, I would like to kind of understand a little bit from him more so about how the marketing aspect goes, and a little bit of, how we can kind of help each other out, and what to expect from that. But if anybody, I love what Chastain's saying, because I think that just proves your salt as well. Like, in any sales capacity, the better job that I can do selling, the better I can be at it, the more involved I can be at it, or whatever. And I think if in my opinion, like if I'm going to talk to a builder, I'm going to sit down and do more of what you started to do, Gary. Hey, let me ask you a question. What would you expect from me? How can I help you better? How can I, that kind of thing, hit the pain points for what that builder contractor wants to see from us and doesn't? And then what can I help do? How can I wear a better hat to help him? How can I help the builder actually, be of better service to him? And
Well, what
if anybody,
one thing
if
I would
anybody that
do,
has those,
yeah, one thing I would do, Rob, and everybody here, I would. Tomorrow is Tuesday, July 2nd. The year is half over. Thursday is a holiday,
oh
which
yeah,
means
oh yeah,
Friday is going to be a holiday. I would go visit. I would tonight. I would pick out at least one builder, if not two or more, and go visit them tomorrow and say, look, if I do a promotional piece on my own to attract buyers who want to build a new home, can I do an open house at your place on whatever day, whatever, just Sunday, Saturday, whatever? I mean, Shastine,
yeah. I love that
have you ever
idea.
done that kind of guerrilla type marketing? You just go after builders. Could you do that kind of thing there? Or?
Well, you have to know which builder that you're going to, because those who have on-site sales reps, meaning high-producing spec builders, they're not going to let you set their sites because they have their own
Yeah.
reps that are paid by salary. So you really want to find the emerging builders, like the ones that, and that's kind of like the loop around that you kind of have to work out, because the problem is the emerging builders a lot of times will have listings with just a standard listing agent. And so unless you get permission directly from the builder, which the only way you can really talk to them is like if you're coming at it from a different angle, which is what I did with my YouTube channel, and which is why I did cities first, and then I kind of went in that way. But strategically, the easiest way that I got in and started getting their direct cell numbers is I went to the Parade of Homes, or whatever you guys call them in your states, where they're having these several builders where everybody comes and looks at these really fancy homes on specific nights. The builders are actually there, and so you are able to actually meet the builders, or get involved with your builders industry association, and go to those meetings so that you get in front of those builders. Those builders you're able to have a one-on-one conversation with. The number one thing they're going to want from you is you promoting their product without them having to pay you. You know, you having a buyer. So you coming with a value proposition like, hey, I service a lot of relocation buyers. They're asking me every day, who do I think is the best builder? And what I realized is I don't really know a lot about you. And I think it would be a really good idea if maybe I interviewed you and I maybe just put you out there in front of, you know, where I put my promotional pieces and really let people know a little bit about what sets you apart as a builder. And so by me doing that, like I said early on, I started having builders reaching out to me, which was totally shocking. So, you know, and that's the way that I got in. Was I started with the parade of homes to where I knew builders were sitting there showing off their homes, and then building relationship with those builders. Some of them had realtors that were outside, you know, because they weren't inside sales reps. But because I went to the builder directly and I did it as far as a standpoint that way, you know, they allowed me to film their stuff. And then from there, it's the smaller builders you have to actually go through the listing agent, because I don't know about you, but I think there's a code of ethics thing. You can't just reach out directly to the seller, builder.
Right,
So you
right.
have to go, you know, through the listing agent, and you can ask the listing agent, hey, can I do an open house on your new construction home? And a lot of them should be really pleased to let you do that, I would think. It depends on really their own security. But you know, so it's just kind of different angles that you can do it depending on whether you want to do an open house or you want to begin to build value with them and be known by them, and maybe them have an opportunity for them to actually give you a shot at one of their communities.
Well, I mean, that's all great stuff, you know. And when I talked to Ron, I suggested, I kind of thought the same thing. Wouldn't it be a great thing to go and actually sit down face to face, do an interview with an on-camera interview with the builder himself, and then explain it to him, hey, this is what I intend to do, and then chop that up and use it for reels or clips and TikTok and YouTube and whatever, and what kind of great promotional content I could get for that. It also helps share me and my face and my name. It's going to be something that I don't hardly ever probably see really any of anywhere. But I had the caution that I'm thinking my feeling until I became a licensed realtor was that I can't really go do that. Not that I can't talk to the guy, but I can't really do that because I'm stepping on toes with the sales agents. I'm like the enemy. As soon as they show up, they're going to go, get out of here. I'm stepping on commissions. And Ron was like, yeah, no, not really. But I'm thinking, yeah, it's got to depend on the builder and the location. But you know, absolutely, I would. Your suggestion is, I never thought about doing open houses. I never thought about that, but that's a great idea. But the interview thing is kind of, and then use the specimen of the interview to say, hey, let me show you something, to the next builder person and say, hey, this is what I did over here. I'd love to do that with you too, and approach it from exactly what you said. You know, I don't know a lot about you. Let's talk. And you know, why you, and why buy here, and why, you know, why your product versus whatever. And that was my intention. I just don't want to, you know, be kind of swimming against the current if I don't have anybody finding. I don't have a marketing arm budget to go out and blast my my specific little community within Hoodle all over the internet. You know, I don't have the marketing arm for that, and I didn't know how much traffic those pages would get. You know, but yeah. So I know. I think Anna, she just dropped off. I think she had some experience with them as she's on. Wasn't she at site the other day when we talked? Gary,
Yeah,
she was at site or something.
she loves
I
Hoodle.
think,
She's using it.
I
The
think
Hoodle's the
she's
kind of
rolling
thing.
up, doing it really well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to. I mean, guys, Hoodle isn't like a magic bullet. You have to work it. You got to work Hoodle.
Right.
You got to promote it. You
Right.
got to take advantage of everything he has to offer you. You got to go out there and meet people, meet the builders. I'm telling you, if you want to attract buyers to your website, show them some beautiful new homes being built with floor plans. I'm telling you, I mean, that's what people want. Think about the television shows. Think about the television shows.
Oh yeah.
Just it's right in front of you. They're giving you the formula, you know. Hey Gil, you had a question?
Justine, I'm curious. Out here in Las Vegas, we have so many new home builders, so many different communities that it's almost information overload. How do you organize that information? How do you strategically, when you're sitting there talking to the sales agent, and then when you take that back, organize that so it helps you be able to promote?
Well, because I need filler content in between, you know, giving information regarding neighborhoods and whatnot. But I want to do it by price point. So, you know, the price point is what you put out there. So, you know, if you want to go to $400,000, $500,000 to homes, you do those. If you want to get $1 million buyers, $2 million buyers, you're going to do higher end homes that attract those buyers. And the fact that we know is people like to look at prettier houses that have unique features versus the stamped, you know, spec builders that you have out there. So, but it, you know, obviously each town, each area may have, that may be all you have. You may, you know, depending, obviously not where you are in Vegas. So, you know, in Vegas, I think I would just, you know, what price point do you want to be in and have that be your target? And then, you know, and then I would strategically look at what areas have the highest amount of growth and then see what builders are coming into that area or that are in that area or that are about to launch or do an opening in that area. There's a lot of ones that where they did a grand opening, inviting the community and agents and everybody. And I went and just filmed. And in between people, I just kept filming. And then I would do my talk outside of the house. I'm out here at this community. There's going to have 6 phases. If you're an investor, this would be great for you. This is the average appreciation. This is what's coming into, you know, they're going to have a pool. They're going to blah, blah, blah. And I would get all that information outside. Didn't matter. I didn't care if people walking by. I mean, people get more and more in tune if there's something going on around you. And then when I went in, I tried to get as many clips, or I would set it up like, hey, I'm going to go in and tour this. It's a grand opening. You're going to see a lot of people. If you set up the expectation, when you go in, you can keep it raw and live. You can just, you know, not do any editing, or, you know, you can do editing and clip it all together. But that's how I would do it. If, you know, if you're wanting to kind of figure out how to, you know, pick your poison and, you know, and put it on that dart and shoot it up there, you know, the dartboard, you know, that's kind of how I would do it in your area.
Gary?
Yeah.
Here in South Carolina, that was one of the issues I had with who we were trying to work through. I don't know if you remember or not, but licensed law says that we cannot advertise anyone else's listing unless they're in our company. It became a big issue here at about a year and a half ago. Years ago, it was no problem. I would go out and do a video tour of a new home, a builder's home, even if, you know, like DRB, for example. But here lately, the last year and a half has really become a big issue here. And that was one of the things me and Ron were trying to work through to see how that I could advertise those homes. Even if I went to a community, our broker says that, you know, we can ride through. We're not supposed to show a specific home. It's just, you know, very confusing. A lot of agents complaining about others that's doing it now. So we hardly ever see it. We see a few agents that do it. So I like the idea about interviewing the on-site agent. I think that would be a good workaround. You know, and just learning some different facts about the communities and the builder and all of that stuff. So I really got to get creative on, you know, if I want to do it. They're making it tough on us. I see other agents in, you know, other cities, like there's one young lady with EXP. She's in North Carolina in the Raleigh area, and she's on TikTok, and she, you know, goes out to the homes, do, you know, the walkthroughs and, you know, the tours of the homes, and she gives information about the homes, and she's doing great. She's making a lot of sales that way. Unfortunately, here in South Carolina, they're not letting us do it.
Well,
Hey, Craig, well, go ahead, Trustine.
I was going to say, well, again, if you're dealing with a spec builder or a custom builder that has in-house sales agents, because there's some here. Cascade West is a very high-end builder that has their own inside sales agents on some of their communities, not all of them, but you know, you just go to them as the builder because they are the seller, you know, and they have employees. They're not listing agent, you know what I mean? Like they're listing, meaning they have their license, but they're employees of the builder.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so that, you know, so I would target which ones are those. And then, you know what, on some of my communities, I just called the agent. I'm like, hey, I'm doing a spotlight on your community specifically, bringing attention to 600, 700, $800,000 homes in this community. Saw your listing on it. Would you want me to spotlight your, you know, it's not going to cost you. And I've had some agents go, is it going to cost me anything? I'm like, no. Oh, sure. Go ahead. And I'm like, yeah, I'll send you the video when it's done. I mean, it's just, you know, if you're doing it, I mean, some of them, like I said, are going to be insecure and some of them aren't, you know.
Yeah. But that's the issue. We can't do it. Licensed law in South Carolina won't let us do that.
Well, if you have their written permission from the seller, from the agent, you should be fine.
No, they won't let us do it unless it's in our company. It's been a big issue here.
Unless it's in your actual company.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's really weird.
Crazy. Yeah.
So here's what I thought of, guys. Here's
Okay.
what I thought of, Craig. What you could do is show pictures of nice new homes that are not from your area, not from the new construction developments or the areas. And you can have like a scrolling screen with like it's a watermark that shows, you can say Malden, 4-bedroom, 2.5-bath, colonial, brand new construction, 450,000, without giving an address or a picture of that particular home in that particular neighborhood. Just a home, a new home, from somewhere. It could be North Carolina, Georgia, wherever. But let people know where there's new construction going on, and give them the number of bedrooms, bathrooms, the style, and even the price range. And then the only thing they can do is contact you for more information. I think that would be okay because you're not specifically showing a listed property, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
And it didn't become a problem until, you know, during COVID, when, you know, everybody was out there, you know, fighting for listings and buyers and all of that stuff. Before that, you know, we used to go in and do the tours of the homes, whether they are ours or not. And it was no problem. And, you know, I guess someone got upset because they wasn't doing it. So they got mad at everyone else that were.
So what about, so just a quick question. So obviously obviously Zillow is still able to show the pictures on their website, correct?
Yeah.
Right. So like what Levi Lassick first taught, or he still teaches it on the YouTube channel, on, you know, YouTube training. He went into the community, a suburb, whatever community name it may be. And he would walk down the street naming, you know, these are the schools that are in this suburb. There's 220 homes in this suburb. Here's the average price point in the suburb, you know. And then he would walk to the front of the home and he'd say, and this is a listing. But then when he brought the pictures up, it would be marked with Zillow, because Zillow was given the ability to come through. You're not going into the home, and all you're doing is a carousel of what was already given authority through Zillow or through your own website. You're not allowed to take it from the MLS, but still the safest zone, if you were going to go back and ask your broker, would be, hey, if I'm showing up with the Zillow time, you know, stamp or whatever, their inside pictures and talking about the community, then, you know, that should be a good workaround, or I would say that would be a workaround.
I like
people
that.
People who like my videos, they like them because I'm literally putting my cell phone on a very good, strong selfie stick, which I can send you the link on where to buy it from Amazon. And I am literally have my moon roof up, and I have my arm up like this overhead, driving down the street of the community so they can see it. I'll get some side views driving down the side so they can see the homes actually in that community. And then I'll walk it down one specific community just until I get right in front of the home. And you don't know how many people are like, Chastine, I'm so thankful that you're actually showing what the actual area looks like because, they're like, I always get some agent sitting behind a desk or was it, they're like, I really like the fact that you're actually out there and you're showing us what's out there. And, and that's all they need. They don't need an actual video tour of them looking inside the house. They're just, what they can't see is what the community looks like. What's the community driving into it looks like? What's the neighbors look like around it? And then of course I bought a drone. So now I do a drone so I can do drone shots showing different, areas of the community. But, and that they've been really happy with that, and then I look like an area expert,
Yeah.
And so anyway, that's all I said.
I like that. Thank you.
It's a plus. I tell you what, I just like the fact. I know I shouldn't say this because this is being recorded, but anytime we can like do this to Zillow a little bit, I like that idea. So okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely run that by my broker, Shastine, because we actually had another Icon agent here in South Carolina. He's out of the Columbia market, and that's how he made Icon a few times before, like I say, before a year and a half, 2 years ago. He had a relationship with one of the builders, and they were one of the major builders, and he could go out and he could sit in one of their homes, one of their vacant homes, even when they were there on site. He had permission to go out and sit in one of their homes, and they saw it. He would even put balloons out and put an open house sign out. And, when they're just riding through the neighborhood, they would stop at him instead of stopping at the front. And the agents, the on-site agents, they didn't care because they were still ultimately getting a sale.
Yeah. It's interesting, guys. People love stories, and we had done some videos. In fact, there's a friend of mine doing right now. When a home's being flipped, it's being remodeled, is show the story of the remodeling from the start when they first bought the house. Looks like, a dog with fleas, all the way through grooming, all the way to the end when it's a show dog. I mean, in other words, the house is in fully remodeled condition. People love that stuff, and you can't make it too slow, but you want to tell a story. I wonder if it would be good to tell a story of a new home being built from the ground up. You could do it like in 60 seconds. Would that be a psychological pull?
One of my first videos that got like over 1,000 views was just me standing in front of the foundation after it was poured and just saying, okay, our house is getting built. The foundation's in. And I got like, 1,200 views. And I was like, wow, people like to see that kind of stuff.
No, they wanted to see you, Gil. They didn't care about the concrete. They wanted to see you, man. Okay. Anything else? Lisa, I keep looking at you. I want to look away because I know I'm going to call on you, and you might not want me to call on you. I don't know. How are you doing?
I've been busy. I'll
Good.
tell you, I'm, doing a lot of social media, doing a lot of bulk emails. KV Core, I was so afraid of, and I don't know why it took me so long to get in there and just play with it. And so I had I had a bulk email go out a couple of days ago. I had some people unsubscribe. I had one thank me for the information. I had another one say he wants to interview me for his podcast. I scheduled another one to go out today. I'm having a lot of fun with it. So I don't know. It's good. And I'm sitting in open house at a new construction house on Friday because I'm really lucky on holidays. I've always worked holidays. My father always told me to work holidays because nobody else wants to. I'm lucky on holidays. So I have a beautiful brand new home over in Medford in the area that I'm wanting to be working more in. And I'm really excited planning that and having fun with it.
It's funny you said that. I just read a quote. And sometimes to get what you want, you have to do things that nobody else will do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, talk about beating the competition. They're not even showing up. on the 4th. Plus, the good stuff doesn't happen until dark, anyways, right?
Well, we're
So-
light until 9 o'clock at night now, so I can work all day long, and it's really fun. Everybody's complaining about the weather. We're going to be 90 to 110 over the next couple of weeks, and I'm like, hallelujah, it's summer.
Yeah. Hey, you have some new developments around where you are, right, Lisa? New construction.
We have in Grants Pass, we have a few here and there. They'll build 20 or less here and there. But in Medford, there's big ones, and then they just approved 8 new motels going in. So apparently, those people have done some research and know some things I don't know. We have a big, huge. They call it Rogue X. It's a sports complex with championship swimming pool and pickleball and cornhole. We're the cornhole championship. They're going to have the international cornhole championships out here. So Medford is growing, and they've got a lot of new construction going on.
Wow.
And then the people that want to live in Grants Pass, they want to drive 30 minutes out and have a little bit, more space. I drive to Medford to be in the big city, which it's not like Portland or Vancouver, but that's our big city. And Grants Pass is a little slower, little town. You can have a little more space, and so you get the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Go visit them. Do like Shasteen was talking about with Craig. Hey, what do you got? The worst they could say is no, right? But it might let you do some recording and do an open house. I just think getting it early.
I'm recording this week. I'm definitely recording this week, and it'll be posted. And it won't be edited, so everybody gets me the way it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have some fun with it.
That's the best way. They say that authenticity actually brings more in than anything polished.
Yeah, I saw several articles about authenticity is the new currency. So I'm just going to play with it.
The culture with the videos too. A lot of people expect it. You go to, TikTok or whatever, and it's not a bunch of graphics all the time and polished and whatever. It's people just what you see is what you get. And then if there is edited, it's just kind of an ugly jump cut. It's just here's the content while I was talking, and then boom, I jumped to the next sentence I was saying. It's not beautiful. It's just done.
So, if I edited it, I would have to do a blooper reel.
A bunch of false starts. Yeah. Yeah. I'm with that.
I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
I know. That would be exciting.
You guys take pictures, okay?
We will.
Lisa and Shasteen, take pictures and do some recording, and we'll
definitely.
We'll just keep it inside the team,
Oh, you want those kind of pictures?
No.
Oh, it's going to be fun. It's going to be great.
That'd be super fun.
That's awesome. I'm envious. Wish I could be there with you, but those days are coming back. You watch this fall. I'll be back on the road. I'll be at the conference. That's for sure. Yeah. Well, listen, guys, I appreciate you participating and listening and learning. Hopefully you got a lot of good stuff out of tonight. Thanks in large part to Shasteen and, of course, Natalia and Lisa and Gil and Rob, everybody was sharing. And Craig stepped away, but I want to thank Craig for bringing Natalia in, because at first I wasn't sure about having a class. I thought, well, I'm not really sure. It's one area, but then I thought about it. New construction is definitely up and coming, and I figured there's some good golden nuggets will come out, and it's exactly what happened. So, Craig, you'll have to get this on the recording. That we thank you for bringing her.
I wanted to ask, have you asked Lisa yet to do anything in all the wisdom box that she has in her brain on? Lisa, you've done so much training, girl. Like, you have deep dived into all kinds of stuff, and I'm always throwing up on everything that I do. And you're so quiet.
I've done so much training, I ended up canceling, or not canceling, but now I'm filtering, and I'm only doing certain things because I need time to work.
Right.
So, yeah.
But I thought specifically that you did some really good training, again, back on Google. Google's now going to be, they're changing up a few things in their platform where now they're actually, oh my gosh, somebody was just telling me this. They're actually going to be doing a kind of like they're going to be I don't want to say a CRM, but they're adding something. Now I have to go look at it again by Georgie. I don't know who keeps up on all the things Google, but with Google Your Business, the things that they're actually going to be implementing and shipping really soon it'll be very vital for agents to have the Google My Business pages and platforms and doing things on them as far as their postings, in there, both video reels and video and stills, ads on there that you can do. So I just didn't you do some on that, Lisa?
I did, but I don't understand how to use it, and I haven't moved forward with Google much. I'm working more with the AI and how to integrate them. Like today, for example, I used my ideal client profile for a specific type of client that I wanted to reach. I went into ChatGPT. I asked it the prompting questions, and then I copied and pasted that where I needed to go into another area, and ended up creating all social media and bulk emails so that I'm set. So, and on tomorrow is Tuesday. On Wednesday morning, I'll be creating the entire month's post. I won't have to touch them. They'll be automatically set. So I've been trying to master that, and I've been so afraid of it that it took me a little longer than it should have. It's really easy. It's really easy.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
if
hey,
you're
I'll
not
say,
using Merlin, you got to be using Merlin. Merlin is fantastic.
Okay. And that's
yeah.
I don't even know who Merlin is. I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Merlin, yeah, you download Merlin, and then you can take anybody's article or anybody's website or whatever and say, summarize this, and then you copy and paste that into ChatGPT, and you rewrite it for yourself, and you've got a blog, or you've got emails, or you've got a post, or you've got anything you want. Merlin is fantastic.
How many of you guys know about Merlin? I do not know anything about Merlin. You guys know? Half of you guys aren't even
I
on
know
there.
it exists, and I'm so behind on AI. I know Merlin exists and it's on my list to go check out, but I'm so overwhelmed with all of that stuff. I used to feel like I knew what was up. Like you just mentioned the Google thing last month or April, I think it was, where they rolled out all these new changes. All the SEO stuff is changing. All the nature of if you're writing a blog and you want to be found, and now it needs to be a minimum of 1,000 words, and all these different things. They've rolled out a lot. Yeah, like Yahoo did a big article on it, compromising the function of Google Chrome is compromising the internet, the functionality. It's just crazy. So I'm behind on what's happening now, but I have no clue about AI, and I really want to, and I should.
There's so much, and that's why I've had to cut some of the things that I was doing. I was doing way too much training and not enough working.
Right.
But with Merlin, for example, you can it goes to your social media too. So if somebody does a post, like Shastine, you do a post, and I'll go down underneath, and you know how you want to like and comment and get everybody's algorithms going. You can go right down there, you can like it, and then you click on comment, and it'll create a comment for you. You just pick positive, congratulatory, whatever. It'll create a comment for you, and then you can edit it, or you can post it the way it is, or you can take it out and have it redo. It is so fast to respond to people's posts, and that's Facebook, LinkedIn, everything. So I'm loving Merlin. I think that's my favorite one, and it's actually fun to use.
Merlin, like a magician.
Merlin the magician, and it sits on the side of your computer, so you'll see the little face, and you just click on it and it'll open up a thing, and you just tell it what to do, like summarize Shastine's website, and it'll summarize everything.
That is
and
so
then I
cool.
can take and rewrite it for myself. Call me tomorrow, I'll do a demo for you, because I think it's the coolest thing ever.
So it's Merlin?
Merlin, yeah. You'll love it. It's just the funnest.
Is it a free app, or you got to pay per month, or?
I don't remember. Let me look at because I'm paying for a bunch of them now because of the class that I took. I think I paid a one-time fee on that one, because I know that there's some of them that you can do free, but you don't get the same I don't remember what the cost was. I'm guessing that I paid. It says get started for free. Oh, okay, then there's pricing. Okay, so I have the Pro, which is $19 a month or $228 a year. But you can start and you can figure it out and decide whether or not you like it. But I think that's my favorite. And the people that I'm working with, this is the Cram Institute. They did a survey of the different ones that we're using, which there's so many, it's like mind blowing, and they all work together. I said that my favorite was Merlin, and they agreed that it's fun, it's functional, and anything you do in Merlin, you can then take to ChatGPT and you can expand on it. So, and then if you like I'm working with absentee owners. So in ChatGPT, I create an ideal client profile that is absentee owners. I only train it once, and then I constantly go in there for that particular kind of post, email, whatever. It's just incredible what they're doing.
Well, I like the part where you said that you can like get a vlog, because again, you know, for me, sometimes getting content for all of the areas, neighborhoods is like,
it's done. So all you want to do is pull up a website or whatever, or an article about a neighborhood or a builder's website or whatever, and then just have Merlin summarize it and then take it over into ChatGPT and tell them to create a blog, and you can say create 5 blog posts from this information, whatever, and it'll do it for you, and then you can schedule them to post. Which is a blog is what's coming up for me this next week. I haven't started my blog yet, but I'm figuring out KV Core like a dum-dum. You know, EXP gives us KV Core. I did not spend the time to learn it. You do not have to pay people to learn KV Core. Inside Real Estate has the best little short videos that'll teach you how to do it. So
they just did some sort of revamp though, because I paid to have mine done. When I first got into EXP, they have all the little cities down below and all the things. And then I paid and did some other stuff. And then all of a sudden, when I went back to my website, I don't know what they did. Now all of a sudden I went back to my website. If you go under search on my website right now, it gives a white page, nothing. So I don't even know what happened. It's like all of a sudden I had 3 different automations taking place to all my website leads that were coming in. Like they were automatically put on 3 different automations. I'm like, what is this? It just went, you know, so now I had to now, but I didn't know you can get a domain, vanity domain for $10 a month. I'm like,
I have that. I have that.
A month. Last time I looked at vanity domain was like, I think was it 3 years ago, and I think it was a lot more expensive than. So I didn't know that came down. I really got to keep up.
I pay $11 a month for mine.
Yeah,
with KV Core.
So I just got that hooked up, but now I'm back to redoing my website again, which is.
I'm changing mine and adding the luxury logo and doing all that stuff. It's amazing. Some of these people who have the KV Core website have really done beautiful things with it. So if you guys haven't done great things with your website like I haven't, I paid EXP in the beginning, and you know it is what it is. No, it does a whole lot more, and they're merging with the company, and I forget the name of the company.
Is it Bombo?
No, it's some kind of weird name. I got an email about it, so there must be an email coming out for you guys.
Yeah,
but
sure.
It's some really weird name. And they're adding a whole bunch of things, and some of the people already have it, and then they're phasing everybody in. So I don't know. But
Andre should know about that because he knows everything.
Yeah, we have a lot. EXP offers so much.
Sorry. I haven't heard about that one.
Oh, okay.
Well,
we'll let you know.
I'll see if I can find the email.
Yeah. Well, anyway, if we can get somebody on Google My Business there, Gary.
Yeah. Do you know anybody, Andre, in an organization that could talk about, I mean, because Glenn Sanford says it every year. He's like, if we're not using Google, we're crazy, you know? But I haven't really come across anybody that's their thing. I mean, you know, we could probably find out by going to workplace, but if you know anybody, Anja or anybody here familiar with one of our people in our organization that understand how to use Google, let's get them in class, you know?
Yeah, I have to put feelers out and see who, I'm sure there's somebody in Honey Badgers or in our group that knows.
Yeah. Or even anywhere in EXP for that matter. I mean, we've got a lot
Yeah.
of expertise, a lot of areas. And I just think, and I'm hearing it more and more. And Shasta, you mentioned the Google My Business. That came up real big last year at the conference too. And all we did is we set up something online through the virtual assistant, but I think it just we made it like a placeholder. It wasn't like we did anything with it, you know. So
Yeah.
well, we'll see if we can come up with a teacher for that subject, guys. I think it's definitely worthwhile, you know. So and by the way, if Lisa, if you're ever interested in like I'm gonna ask Deb Warner if she can do a session in August on what she's done with she would go to do like the new home uh like a convention, you know, um or like a show, a new home show in the local, you know, convention center. And she's getting listings from it. She did it, she partnered with somebody and they had a really good program where they did a lot of follow-up and they've got like 20 plus solid leads, people saying they are definitely going to be selling. They've already got a couple listings out of it going to a new home show. But things like that, guys,
What show is
you
this?
know, like a home show, but it's like how you can go like a wedding show. I don't know if I'm using the right terminology, but
Is this for TV?
You are, yeah.
what's that? What's that?
Yeah, if it was a show like on TV. No, what he's referring to is like a convention
No.
center. It's called a
Yeah.
home show, and it's like vendors show up, people who offer
Oh,
gutters, or
Yes.
doors, or windows, or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can get a booth there as a realtor, and catch all that traffic.
right. Okay,
Sorry
gotcha.
to jump in there and take that over, Gary, but I knew what you were going for.
That's
Yeah.
good. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Rob. Your brain's younger than mine. I couldn't anything beyond 3 syllables past 8:30 at night, my brain's too slow. But because I've done those before. I actually went to a career day at a college, local college one time for recruiting. I did it with Gina. Gina and I did it together actually back in 2012 or something. That worked. In fact, the guy next to us was the local realtor guru, and we beat the pants off of him. And then with the lender, I did a wedding show with her because she was getting ready to get married, and she asked me if I would partner with. I said, heck yeah, and we crushed it, and we didn't even know what we were doing. We had
What
a
did
spin
you
wheel and
do?
everything.
Did you offer anything, or were you just sitting there just to be there and collect data?
We went
I mean,
out,
did
we
you
walked
offer?
around. A lot of the people, the vendors were behind their desk. We actually went out in
Right.
front, talked to people as they were passing by, and went to other people's booths to have conversations with people because they didn't know I was at a booth because I just wearing a suit, you know. And then I would
Right,
say,
right.
okay, here, come look at this one over here. And we got some good business out of that, you know. The key with things, guys, is you can't sit behind a desk. You got to get out in the walkway where people are walking and talk to them, shake their hands, congratulate them, you know. So take pictures, stuff like that. It just that's what we did. And next thing you know, they start to know you, like you, and trust you, you know. And the follow up is where we got our business. Follow up is vital. Man, I don't even know how to emphasize that enough. Follow up is probably the most important thing, quite frankly. You know,
That's
you can
what they
meet 20
say.
people.
Fortunate in the follow
The
up.
money's always in the follow-up.
People,
Yep.
that's what they say. Fortunate follow up. Yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah, I would say
Oh, Gary.
as long as the organizer
guys
doesn't
later.
object to you walking down the aisles and stuff, I would get all over it. And you'd have to be there with you'd have to be like kind of in the handshake mode, greeting mode. Hey, how are you doing? Walking around, and people are going to look at you behind the table and just keep going.
yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, Andre, you were saying something too a moment ago.
Sorry, I was going to say, good call. I'll see you guys next time. I got to run.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, Andre. Tell Beth hello, and we'll see you guys next time.
Great. Thanks, everybody.
Okay. All right, guys. Good session tonight. I appreciate everybody sharing, and participating and listening, taking notes. If you haven't set up a one-on-one, uh, and you know who you are, go ahead and set one up. You know, and let's get some strategy going. The key is momentum. You got to keep it going. Marketing is if you slow down and stop, I mean, Lisa will tell you she's a veteran and it is a momentum business. All right, Lisa, I mean, we all do it, but that's why I'm here is to keep on point, keep the momentum going. Promise you it'll pay off. You
Yeah,
know,
don't take time off.
yeah, that's
I
right.
took time off and now I'm playing catch up.
Yeah.
But I
So,
had a good time and I traveled.
yeah. Well, the good news is today with all the automation, I mean, like on Facebook, you can schedule your posts. On KV Core, you can schedule your emails in advance. You don't have
I
to be
didn't
there.
realize how easy that was.
Yep.
If
I'm
I
telling you.
realized how easy it was, I would have done it 3 years ago. What a dum dum.
Well, let me tell you guys a big secret. We just dropped the big CRM that we were using at the team level, Infusionsoft. We've been with them for 12 years. And great system. I'm not knocking it, but KV Core has a lot of capability. And the more we looked at it, I'm like, why were you not using this? So we switched over 2 weeks ago to choose the email that goes out, the Attra class email. Beverly sends it out to like 11,000 people. Guess how many people we had opt out of 11,000? Just take a wild guess. 7. That's it.
Oh my.
And
Everybody's
then what we
reading
did,
it.
yep. And then what we did is I looked at my signature stamp on KV Core. It was from 3 or 4 years ago. We paid somebody to do it. It didn't reflect me or us at all. So I said, Sugar, I want you to change it to reflect us now, the team, and me, my image with my gray hair. And we did another batch that went out. Only one person opted out. And a lot of it had to do with that imaging and the wording and all that kind of stuff. You don't want to make it too salesy. Make it authentic and genuine and reflect you and give people something to do. My gosh, free search of homes, click here, boom. And they go right to that screen, free search of homes. Free home evaluation, no obligation, click here, boom. They leave their information. So you get contacts. Always leave your phone number and your email. Absolutely. And you have a website, put that on there. But in any case, just little things like that. I thought we would have so many opt-outs. Like Lisa, we were afraid. We wanted to do it last year, and I kept thinking, I don't know. We finally did it. All that fear was for nothing. you know?
Me too. I was afraid all this time, and now I'm thinking, what a dum dum. I wasted so much time not using this simple program that EXP has given us, and it's going to even get better. So I'm still cleaning up my old database, but when I started looking at it, I realized that I needed to go to RealFlow and add to this database and classify those people properly
Yes.
while I'm still going back and fixing the ones that are not classified properly.
Yeah. Well, I'm by the way, if you haven't had a one-on-one for a while, guys, we're really pushing using RealFlow combined with KV Core because KV Core is so easy to automate. And you get people on a regular communication campaign and you grab them from RealFlow, which is free because we pay for it. You don't have to pay for it. I mean, that's like a
And that's
no-brainer.
really expensive, by the way. I looked into getting RealFlow just to see how
Yeah.
much it costs. It's a very, very, very expensive
Yep.
program.
Yep.
So,
Thankfully, we
yeah.
got it when they first came out. And Lisa, it was the craziest thing. I was already on a system, and I was going to buy the enterprise version of that called FreedomSoft. And I saw this post on something called RealFlow, and it gave all the features. So I wanted to check that out. So I called him up, talked to the owner. I said, "Well, this is what I got going on." He said, "Oh yeah, we'll hook you up, man. We'll give you 1,000 accounts." I said, "Really?" So I gave him back then. It was just a few $1,000s and a few $100s a month. Well, now an individual account, the kind that we have with all the bells and whistles, is $400 a month. And you guys get it for free, you know? So we're actually starting to have people who are not on our team give them a RealFlow account for $100 because they're just sitting there being wasted. And we're gonna open it up and by the way, we probably have some guests on tonight. But what would you say is one of the big benefits of us allowing people not on our team and other brokerages to have an account on a RealFlow system with us? What's one of the advantages of that?
We have more
What
people
it-
to work with And
We
they'll
get
want to
we
come
get
and work
an
with us.
automatic funnel. People get
Yeah.
to see who we are, what we're doing, how we operate. Not to mention that infinite flow of leads. I mean, good Lord. Anybody that doesn't pay $100 for that, that'd be crazy, you know? But for us, it gives us a channel of communication. We can bring them into class, let you guys know when we have guests in class, I'm not supposed to be the only one following up with them. You guys should follow up with them, right? You
Yeah,
know?
I always add them to
Me-
my database before the session's over. I look them up on whatever, LinkedIn, wherever
Yep,
they are. I go to their website, and then every link they've got, if it says Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, I go like,
yep,
follow everything,
yep.
every guest.
You can't go wrong with serving others and helping others produce. You know, that's why I never cold call anybody. I never have. You know, we just attract them with what we got. And you guys are a big part of it. I can't tell how many people have joined our team because they came to class and said, you guys were awesome, which means you guys, not me. I mean, it's just like this here. It is 9 o'clock. We've been going another hour after the class ended because so much good stuff comes out. You know, that's what people want. That's what they need. So in any case, speaking of 9 o'clock, I better get going, guys. But I really thoroughly enjoyed this session. I love doing this. I love seeing you guys. I can't wait to get back on the road and travel around and see you guys in person and see you at the conferences and things like that. I'll even go to the local, what do they call them now? The rallies. I can go to any regional rally, you know. So I've been to two of them so far on the East Coast, but I love to get out to some of the West Coast ones and all over the middle of the country. So, okay, you guys have a good night. God bless you and your loved ones. I will see you next Monday, and I will see you on the one-on-ones when you set them up. Thursday, I'm off, and Friday, but you know what that means. You can still call me, email me. I don't have any scheduled calls. But let me know if you need anything. Okay, guys?
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
All right. Adios.
Thank you for watching this episode of Monday Night Live. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and go to realestatewithgarywilson.com to join our community and start building wealth today.